Good morning and welcome to day 211. So I took a zero yesterday at Stanimals Around the Bend Hostel in Hiawassee, Georgia, mainly just to take a break and then also to give my sister and my kids time to kind of get into position to meet me. So it's Monday. I'll be finishing on Saturday at Springer. The plan today is to go about 13 miles and then probably camp. It's going to be nice today and tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, it starts raining again, of course. So that's the current plan. Probably try to get to the Stover Creek shelter on Friday. That's only 4 miles from the Springer Summit and only about 2 or 3 miles from the parking area. And then the plan would be early the next morning, Saturday, wake up and hike up to the parking area. Get my sister and my child or two, depending how many show up, and go the mile to Springer and finish this thing. So I'm going to stop talking and start hiking. Day 211. So I am at the top or near the top of Trey Mountain, and I went by the shelter there. It was 11 miles to the shelter, but that wasn't really far enough for the day. So I pushed on past that. I'm going to go a couple more miles to what is reported to be a decent campsite. And probably stop there because even though it's only 3:30, if I go past that spot, there's no place to camp for like another 6 miles. So anyway, decent weather today, and I am just plugging along here. All right, did 13 miles today, and it's about 4:30. Don't necessarily want to stop this early, but if I go further, then the next place to stop is 6 miles, and I don't want to go that far. So. And there's my ground sheet there on my pack. I'm going to go ahead and put my tent up there. There's some other folks. I've only got 25 more miles to go to get to Neels Gap. I'll be there day after tomorrow. I'll probably spend the night in the bunk house there if I can get in, and I'll resupply there. So I got about 57 more miles to Springer. So not much left. I'll sign off for now. All right, here I am, my favorite part of the evening. So dinner's done. I went and got water, made dinner, ate that, brushed my teeth, and put everything in the bear bag and threw it over a branch and hung that. So now I'm in my tent. It's about 7:30, and I am reading a couple of books I have on my Kindle and my phone. So very quite comfortable. You see outside there. It's a very pleasant evening. I'm going to relax. Tomorrow is going to be about 13 miles to the Low Gap shelter, and that'll give me 12 miles to get into Neels Gap day after tomorrow. So shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight for now, and I will catch up with y'all in the morning. Good morning, and welcome to day 212, and it is a beautiful morning. It's clear blue skies. It's chilly. Probably low 50s, thereabouts. Looks like a beautiful day. It's not supposed to rain until tomorrow sometime. So I'm gonna get moving. 57 miles to go to Springer. See, a beautiful morning. Clear blue sky. Look at this. That's actually really good water, crystal clear, coming right out of that thing. I got some of that. I'm going to keep moving about 13 miles today, going to the Low Gap shelter, and then I'll either camp there in my tent or stay in the shelter. I met a hiker last night who was going the opposite direction that said that when he was at Low Gap night before last, that there was what appeared to be a family living in it, a mother, father, and then a teenage daughter, and they had 2 Rottweilers with them. And the Rottweilers would growl at anybody that came near the shelter. So obviously the shelters are for hikers, not for living in with Rottweilers, and that's not really a good situation. So I hope they have moved out by the time I get there. There's a trail there, and I don't know if you can appreciate how it just ascends pretty steeply right up that thing there. So I just passed Indian Grave Gap. I go over this, I think it's called Rocky Mountain, and then descend into Unicoi Gap, and then another ascent up out of there. So this whole thing is what started my fascination with the Appalachian Trail. In 1975, when I was 14 years old, I came out here with basically a youth group of some sort. And we did this section. We started at Springer Mountain and we went north for about 60 or 70 miles. I'm not entirely sure where we got off the trail, quite honestly. I've forgotten, but I remember Georgia being steep up and down, and it has not changed much in the last 50 years. I think I'm very close to the top of Rocky Mountain here, and I'll start to descend to Unicoi Gap pretty quick, but I burst out of the trees to see this. It's really beautiful. Look at that. What a gorgeous day. You don't get days like this very often out here, so I'm really trying to enjoy it. And I only have a few more days left. That's the other thing. All right, I've climbed up out of Unicoi Gap, I believe. This is Blue Mountain. So I'm gonna go along here, and on the backside of this, maybe another mile, is a shelter. So I'm gonna aim to get on down there and have lunch. Beautiful sunny day. Sounds like it's gonna be terrible tomorrow though, so you never get anything for free around here. Beautiful day today, bad day tomorrow. So I have about 3/4 of a mile maybe to get to the Low Gap shelter where I'll spend the night. I'm not sure if I'll stay in my tent or in the shelter. I prefer my tent. I'll have to look and see what time it's supposed to start raining tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to get to Neels Gap, which is just north of Blood Mountain. And they have a small hostel there, a pretty extensive outfitter, and I'll be able to resupply there. So I'll head there tomorrow, try to get there before they close at 5 p.m. to get resupplied, get a shower, and get laundry done. So for now, I'm going to sign off. The trail actually is quite nice right now, which is unusual. It's fairly flat. I'm going to go get my tent set up and see what's what. Well, it looks like my decision was made for me. So there's my tent right there. There's a bunch of other tents out here as well. Apparently, the shelter is full. The folks that went down there told me that, so more tents over here. So anyway, I found a nice flat spot over here, and fortunately it's not under a dead limb. I'm not sure why there's so many people in the shelter. I'll go down and check it out in a little bit. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Most of the northbound thru hikers are on their way, way past here. So I think it's a little odd, but it is what it is. All right, day 213. And I camped at the Low Gap shelter. They said the shelter was full. Actually, there's like 4 guys in there taking up the entire shelter, and one of them had a tent set up inside the shelter. That is an absolute no-no, particularly when people want to get in the shelter. But anyway, I did mention to the one fellow who was awake, and he said he only met these guys yesterday, so maybe they don't know any better. So it's 7 a.m., 11.5 miles to get to Neels Gap. They have a hostel there, and I can do a resupply. So I'm gonna get going. It's starting to rain. It's supposed to rain all day. And I wanted to get on trail before the rain started, so more or less accomplished that. Got all my stuff packed up and nice and dry, and I'm gonna get moving. All right, it's like 7:45 and it's raining. It's a gentle rain falling. I don't have my rain gear on yet just because it'd be so hot. If it rains a little bit harder, I'll have to put it on. But right now I'm making good time. I'm really interested in like how lush and green everything now looks compared to a couple weeks ago when it all still looked wintry and dead. Leaves are all on the trees. Got like this ground cover here. And just pressing on through southern Georgia. And I forgot to mention why I got up so early. So I set my alarm for 5:15. Ended up waking up about 4:50. So I turned my alarm off and just got up, started packing. I'm going to Neels Gap, where I mentioned previously they have a hostel there and an outfitter and a resupply. But they close at 5 p.m. and they only have 10 beds. So I want to get there as early as possible to try to get a bed and have time to resupply and wash my clothes and take a shower. It's going to rain all night, so I'd rather not camp out and get my stuff all wet if I don't have to. So that's why I got so early on the trail by 7. And I'm scooting along. It's only 11.6 miles, so I should be there by early afternoon. Still raining, of course, but look how green these ferns are. Look at this. I mean, this is like a rainforest or something. Things have really changed out here. Well, I'm climbing up something, and it stopped raining for the moment, so I took my jacket off. I just get too hot going uphill with the jacket on, but look at this. I came to a little rock outcropping, and it's kind of a nice view from here. It's a break in the trees. I'm gonna try to do this without falling over, tripping on anything, but I'm gonna go backwards. And it's kind of a cool, cool view. And you can see everything's pretty wet, and there's some cloud or fog over in the mountain over across the way there. So pretty nice though. All right, I'm going up this slab of rock here, and it's not raining right this right second. It started raining a little bit again, darn it. But this is very pretty. Not getting that many views in this area, so I'll take them where I can get them. Go up a little bit higher. It's fairly steep. The good news is it's not particularly slippery, which would make it much worse. Go up here. The trail goes off that way. I got back behind me here. Look at that. Wow. That's pretty nice. It also looks pretty wet. This weather is just terrible. It started raining again, so I'm gonna put my phone away. It's cold, it's windy. I'm probably gonna have to pull my rain jacket back out, so I'm putting the phone away. Just another stellar day on the Appalachian Trail. I should be down to mountain crossings at Neels Gap in about 30 minutes maybe. Hopefully I can get a hostel bed there. They only have 10 beds, so anyway, I'm hoping for the best. I definitely want to get out of this mess. This is just awful. So we'll see when I get down there. I will catch you all up when I see what the situation is. Yeah, it's really awful out here. I mean, it's been raining pretty hard. I'm soaked. But if you look right there, that is the Mountain Crossings Center at Neels Gap. And the trail actually goes right through that building. You can see there's a blaze on the side of the building. So I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna try to get inside and get out of this rain. Put the phone away before it starts getting weird on me. So this is the famous mountain crossings at Neels Gap. It's about 30 miles north of Springer Mountain. So it's the first stop for most northbounders that are starting from Springer Mountain and going north to hike the entire Appalachian Trail. And so they have an outfitter in there, and they can help people like swap out their equipment if they got too much stuff. And what's funny is that, look at this tree. This tree is full of shoes. It's just full of shoes. Look at all the shoes. So when people come here, unfortunately, a lot of people quit, right? They didn't know what to expect. They get in over their heads. They walk 30 miles on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia, which is quite difficult and quite mountainous and steep. And they show up here and they quit and they want to go home, and they throw their shoes into the tree. Look at all the shoes up there. So anyway, I only got 30 miles left of this thing. I'm not throwing my shoes in that tree. All right, everybody, day 214 has begun. I'm going to cross the road here and leave Mountain Crossings at Neels Gap behind me. I had a really good night here, slept really well. It's a nice facility. And I met a northbound through hiker who had just started. Incidentally, also a former Marine. I'm not sure why there's so many Marines out here. Anyway, his name was John, super cool guy. Didn't have a ton of experience, so we spent some time going through his gear, and I tried to help him lighten his load up a little bit. and give him some pointers, which he seemed to appreciate. And I'm looking forward to following him on his northbound journey. So I'm going to get going. I've got about 15 miles to get to Neels Gap shelter, and then I'll be within 20 miles of the finish at Springer Mountain. So I'm going to get scooting here. Looks like it might be a decent day. I've got to get up over Blood Mountain, which would be the one big climb today. And that's it. 2 more days on trail. This journey is coming to an end. So for now, we're Recon out. So I'm climbing up towards Blood Mountain, and I've got, I think, 31 miles to the terminus at Springer. And it's just starting to sink in. You know, I only have 2 more nights on trail. Tomorrow night, and well, tonight and tomorrow night. And day after tomorrow, I'll be getting in a car with my kids and going home. And it's just starting to hit me, honestly. So 214 days on trail, and on this leg, I've been gone 45 days or so, 6 weeks at least. So it's starting to sink in. I'll let you know how I feel about it. Right now, it's making me a little sad. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm looking forward to going home. I miss my wife terribly. I miss my dog. I miss not being out in the rain all the time. So, in the next 48 hours, we'll see how it goes. This thing is just like sitting right up here. Just like on a nice edge. Interesting. Big old boulder sitting up there like that. Probably been millions of years perched up there, and one day it's just going to come tumbling down. I should probably get out of the way. I think those are coyotes. This climb up the north side of Blood Mountain is turning into a rock scramble. It's kind of like climbing from one large boulder to another up through here. So the trail kind of comes up out of the foliage right there, and then it breaks out into this open rock face. You can see it goes straight up there. There's the blazes painted right on the rock. So I'm probably pretty near the top here. Okay, that's the rock slab I just came over. Came right up the face of this thing. And you got a pretty nice view up here so far. All right, so that's the trail continuing southbound there. And then this is the top of Blood Mountain. I'll drop my pack and climb up there and see if I can get some good video from up there. And this is the famous Blood Mountain shelter. We'll go over and take a look. I've been up here before. I've never actually slept in this shelter. I don't care for these very much, particularly these cabin looking ones, because they get very damp and kind of yucky on the inside. That's what the inside looks like though. Fireplace there, it's been closed up. And here's the back room. You know, there's not even anything in the windows. They're wide open. So rain and wind could blow right in here, huh? And just a stone wall. They did leave a broom in here though. That's nice. Look at the construction. These old hand-hewn beams supporting the roof. So this thing's pretty old. Let's see if I can find something that says how old it is. All right, so I climbed up on this big rock formation here. to get y'all a view. There's the shelter down there. That's my pack sitting on the steps. And then if you look this direction, got a pretty good view off over here. I'm trying to fall off this boulder. That's pretty good. And then if you look around behind me, whoa, that's fog and clouds closing in. So anyway, who knows, probably get some thunderstorms this afternoon. But this is a view from the top of Blood Mountain, the famous Blood Mountain. I didn't think it was such a big deal climbing up here, honestly, but for the folks just starting out from Springer, this is the first kind of major climb. So far, it's been a gorgeous day. It's a little bit after noon, and came down off Blood Mountain. There was a nice creek there. I got some water, and I'm continuing on. I will probably look for a place in about an hour to stop and have lunch. But really enjoying the day and trying to like just savor the last couple days on trail. It's getting late in the afternoon. I am running way behind schedule to get to the next shelter. But I'm gonna go down and take a look at this anyway, because it looks nice. And I'm not getting that many nice views. There's a little rock outcropping here, and wow, look at this. It's beautiful. All right, it is about 6:40 p.m. and I've got maybe a half a mile to get to the Gooch Mountain Shelter. And apparently they have some nice tent pads there as well. So it was supposed to thunderstorm this afternoon, but it hasn't happened yet. And I think the chance of that's getting less and less. So I'm gonna get down there and probably set up my tent. It'll be 15.5 miles today. I've not made a very good time. I was late leaving Neels Gap, first of all. I was helping that other fellow out with his gear and whatnot, and I was late leaving there, and then I goofed around on Blood Mountain too much, and then basically I've talked to every single person I've seen today. You get kind of lonely out here going south because you don't see other people, and you don't have much opportunity to talk. So every time I see somebody, I end up talking to them for some period of time. So anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera off for the moment and keep walking. Good morning, and welcome to day 215, and the countdown has begun. I have 15.7 miles left to go to get to the end of the trail on Springer Mountain. So I'm going to go about 13 miles to the Stover Creek Shelter, and then I'll stay there tonight and meet up with my kids, my son and daughter tomorrow, and my sister tomorrow. So right now I've got about 13 miles to go. Had a great night last night. I stayed at the Gooch Mountain Shelter. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and so last night, instead of staying in the shelter, there was probably 4 or 5 northbound hikers that were basically their second day on trail. And so I thought, yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful night. It looks great. It's probably not gonna rain. So I set my tent up, and then of course, as soon as I got my tent, it stormed. So pretty crazy thunderstorm last night, but I stayed dry. And by this morning, my tent had dried out even. So I'm all packed up now. It's beautiful blue skies. it's a perfect day to end on. So I'm gonna get moving and I will get up with y'all later. That's a beautiful day. Birds chirping, blue skies. I go down these wooden steps here, across that creek, and back up the other side. It goes pretty high up over there, actually. It goes way up there, those wooden steps. So anyway, it's a much more beautiful day than I've been having lately. I think that the trail is trying to beguile me into coming back. So I forget all the rain and the snow and the thunder and the lightning and the wet feet. We'll see. This is beautiful. What a gorgeous day, huh? The trail, like, it's nice and flat and wide. The weather's beautiful. After torturing me all this way, the Appalachian Trail is pulling out the good stuff. It doesn't want me to remember any of the bad stuff. So it's gonna make my last day wonderful. So I just stopped back at Horse Gap for a chat. So there was people there and I was wondering what they were doing. So I started talking to them. And there was a woman there who was from the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, which is the overall organization that kind of controls and takes care of the Appalachian Trail. You know, they coordinate all of the volunteer clubs that do the actual work. And then there was two gentlemen there from the Georgia Appalachian Trail Club, and the volunteer trail clubs that actually do most of the work on the trail, volunteers doing it all. And then there was a gentleman from the U.S. Forest Service. So apparently they were looking at the section I'm on right now and planning some projects to make it better, which is cool. I did do like I always do, and I thanked the folks for maintaining the trail and for all the hard work they've done so I can actually hike it, particularly since the hurricane and just the Herculean efforts that these volunteers have put in to make the trail hikeable again for us hikers. So the last couple of miles have been what we call PUDs, P-U-D-S, pointless ups and downs. Just super sharp, steep ascents leading to steep descents, leading to more ascents with no discernible reason. So anyway, I've gotten here to the Hawk Mountain Shelter, and I'm gonna take the side trail down to the shelter and have lunch. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. I've got 5 more miles to go to get to my stopping place for the night. So the Hawk Mountain Shelter, the reason I'm going down here is because in 1975, when I was 14 years old, I came out here with a group of kids and a couple of adult leaders and hiked this section of the Appalachian Trail. And we started at Springer Mountain, and I think we got off around Dix Creek Gap, but I'm not entirely sure. But we camped here at Hawk Mountain, and myself and some of the other kids wanted to sleep out under the stars near the shelter. We had our tent set up in the woods. And of course, at 1 o'clock in the morning or thereabouts, it started pouring down rain. And I grabbed my sleeping bag and my air mattress, and I went running into the camp, but it was pitch black, and I ran right up the backside of the camp. And so then I was like in the forest with my sleeping bag and my air mattress bumbling around, getting soaked until I finally found my way back to my tent. So I'm gonna go up here and check this out. That was 50 years ago this August. So it has a special place in my heart. I'm gonna go have lunch there. So I've joined up now with the Benton Mackay Trail. That's what that white diamond is underneath the white blaze. I thought this is really pretty. I mean, look at this area. Look how big these trees are. I mean, they're huge. They're really pretty. I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're spruce or hemlock. I'm terrible with my trees, but they sure are pretty. I mean, some of them are just ginormous. Look at this thing right here. You can follow that all the way up. I mean, they are really big. This is kind of a neat little area through here. Well, here I am. It is 8 p.m. I am in my tent at the Stover Creek shelter, and I am quite comfortable. This is my favorite part of the day. So, a little time to relax on my very soft and comfortable air mattress before I try to go to sleep. I'm just doing a little reading right now. I am reading Islands in the Stream by Hemingway. That's what I've been working on lately. So, anyway, good hike today, solid 13 miles. I'm about 3 miles from the end of the Appalachian Trail. And so tomorrow morning, I will go meet my son and daughter and my sister in the parking area about 1 mile from here. And then I will head up to the AT and finish this thing. I will see you all in the morning. Well, today's today, day 216. And just woke up. I need to be out of here by about 9 a.m. to go up and meet my sister and my son and daughter at the Springer parking lot, the Forest Service parking area. It's a mile shy of the terminus of the Appalachian Trail. So this is it. My last morning waking up in my tent. I had a good night last night. I slept great. The weather was good. And have mixed feelings. You know, I'm really excited to go home, see my wife, and see my dog, and, you know, get back to a more normal life. But you know, I'm a little sad that this is coming to an end, so I'm gonna go ahead and start changing clothes and getting packed up, and we'll move on. Here goes the saddest sound of the day. All right, here I am, back on trail. I've got about 2 miles to get to the Springer Trailhead parking area, where hopefully my sister and kids will be waiting for me, and then another mile to the summit. So, of course, it's raining. It is windy and cold. Seems like an appropriate send-off to end this through hike on day 216. All right, I'm not quite to the parking lot yet. The rain has eased up a little bit, still cold and windy, but pretty excited to see my kids. I've had several people stop me and congratulate me. They all ask if I'm a thru hiker because I guess, you know, why would somebody that looks like me be 2 miles from Springer Mountain and heading south? So the only logical explanation is that I'm a thru hiker. Or I'm just homeless and looking for a place to sleep, I guess. There's Cammie and Reed and my niece Laura and then my sister in back, Aunt Kelly. They all made it up here to Springer to do the last mile with me. And they all say that I look terrible and I smell bad. I don't believe them at all. Yeah, here we go. So, well, those people are behind me. That is the terminus where the plaque is. And there, my son, my daughter, my niece, and my sister. That's the last white blaze right there. So I got you. Okay, there's Shorty back in the back there. Yes, we got you. Okay, so I'm gonna let my sister go up ahead so I can come up with the kids and she can get me on video.
I'm ready.
Bring it in. Come on, bring it in, Reed. Go in the middle. All right, let's go. Not the trip. Not the trip. I'm too short. We're gonna make it. Okay, here we go. So that is the last white place there, and that's the plaque I'm looking for right there. There it is.
He has finished.
Got my,
Maine to Georgia. Woo!
Yeah!
there it is. 216 days, 2,197.4 miles.
All right.
And $23,000 raised for Marine Reconnaissance Gold Star families.
Hey,
I've done
awesome.
it. All 4 seasons.
Congratulations.
All right, thanks. Well, hello everybody. I'm coming to you from back home. It is now 11 days since that last clip where you saw me finish on Springer Mountain. And after that, we drove back to my sister's house. We went to Chick-fil-A because the kids were all hungry. And when I went in to use the restroom, I came back out and my sister had locked me out of the car. She said I smelled so bad that I couldn't get back in the car until I took a bath. So she literally put the car window down 2 inches, pushed a bottle of body wash out, and made me go into the Chick-fil-A restroom and take a bath. So I was in there wearing nothing but shorts with my shirt off, scrubbing with paper towels and body wash. I was terrified that some customer was going to come in and complain, but fortunately nobody did. And after my little bath in the sink, she let me back in the car. So we drove home, and this past weekend, my son graduated from college, had a very nice family weekend, and now here I am back in my neighborhood here, and I am walking Lucy. If I can, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't make you sick with that. There's Lucy right there. And y'all have met her previously. So all is well. My hike is over. Horrible weather today, and I was happy to be inside and not hiking. So, I don't know what's next. I'd love to do the PCT. I don't want to be gone from home that long again, I can tell you that. So for now, I'm going to sign off. I'll do another clip in a few minutes here where I answer some questions that people have asked me in the comments. And then that may be it for Recon Hikes. We raised over $24,000 ultimately for the Marine Recon Gold Star families, and I'm very proud of that. And I'll continue to hike probably some sections, maybe the Colorado Trail, I'm not entirely sure. But for now, I'm going to sign out, and I thank you all for your support. Thank you for following me, particularly those that followed from the beginning. And if you haven't done so, please look at the QR code and consider a donation to the Marine Reconnaissance Foundation, Gold Star Family Services. They can always use your support. Thank you so much. Happy trails, Semper Fi, and Recon out.